Alexa, this is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join 93.7 The Ticket this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from Pinnacle Bank Arena for the NSAA Girls State Basketball Tournament. Starting Wednesday at 9 a.m., we'll be at PBA bringing you play-by-play coverage of every single game. That's right. All 24 games played at Pinnacle Bank Arena this week will be heard right here on 93.7 The Ticket. From Class A to Class D2 action, 93.7 The Ticket is your home for the 2025 Girls State Basketball Tournament. And it all starts this Wednesday at 9 a.m. We'll see you there.
MWA Pro Wrestling returns to Lincoln Friday night, March 7th at the First Avenue Social Hall. And in Beatrice at the Beatrice Auditorium on Saturday night, March 8th at 7 p.m. Don't miss 2 huge shows. Visit Facebook.com/MWA Pro Wrestling for more information. Tickets are on sale for both events. Friday night, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. First Avenue Social Hall in Lincoln. Saturday night, March 8th at the Beatrice Auditorium, 7 p.m. Brought to you by 10 Pins Fun Center, Felipe Electric, and Stone Hollow Brewing Company.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got Demorne Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Let's go ahead and bring him in. And, of course, if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685, or you can join any of the streams. Demorne Pierson-El, how's it going on just a gorgeous Tuesday night here in Lincoln, Nebraska?
You, sir, are out of your mind for that statement. I'm glad to be inside, I'll say that.
Yeah, and real quick, I know this is a sports radio station, but on certain days we can tap into being a weather station just for a little bit, just because the roads are that bad. It is obviously not gorgeous outside. If you don't have to drive, don't drive. It's not worth it. And if you do have to drive, just drive safely. We do got some updates from the text line here. Shout out Thomas and Lincoln, 78th and Cornhusker Highway. Looks like lights are down there. And then again, just for tonight, just keep everybody locked in and understand what this weather is going to look like. Tonight, we got snow mainly before midnight, widespread blowing snow between 8 p.m. and midnight. So that stretch right there, you definitely don't want to be on the roads. Very windy, about 37 to 40 mile an hour winds tonight with gusts as high as 70 and chance of precipitation between sleet, snow, and rain about 1 to 3 inches. So just putting that out there. Be safe. And clearly, we're getting some text about some lights being down. I know on my way into work before the snow and the rain, when the wind just picked up itself, I ran into an light on Superior Street that became a four-way stop because those lights weren't working already at that point in time. So just be safe if you're out there on the road. But Demorne Pierson-El, let's talk about some Husker hoops here. They got Ohio State tonight. Spread 6.5. A little bit surprised to see it climb up that high in favor of Ohio State. Just broad thoughts heading into this game for really a bubble clash. Both these teams are arguably on the bubble. They both desperately need it.
For Nebraska, it's crunch time. You have to show up and show out. You can say we're a good road team because, we pulled some different, upsets with stuff. Just remember, the things that got us there, do the simple things, contribute, and, things should fall in our favor.
Yeah, and when you look at the last game, how Nebraska was able to beat them last time at home, obviously in the vault, this time it's going to be on the road versus Ohio State tip-off at 8 o'clock Central Time. Nebraska won the last one, 79-71. Really the key stats in that one were Nebraska just had a good field goal percentage, about 52% on the day. And then three-point percentage was just fine, 33% compared to Ohio State's 40%. But the thing you really like to see, free throws. Nebraska took care of business there. 18 for 21. Unfortunately, free throws just haven't been as good for Nebraska down the stretch here. But if you can shoot 85% from the line on top of getting to the line 21 times in a game, you'll take that. You also rebounded really well, 37-28. And then assists, pretty even there, 15 to 10. Well, excuse me, not even. You have beat them there by 5. Steals, they get 5 on you. You get 2. Turnovers, we did have 10. Really about the only category Ohio State won in that one. And then kind of the thing we've been saying all year. You look at the box score in this one. Burke Bear-Ugel with 15 points. And he gives you 6 rebounds, 3 assists. If you get that version of Burke Bear-Ugel, and I think that's what's been tough for Nebraska down the stretch is, I talked about it. I don't mean to pick on him so much, but the last 2 games he's made 1 shot and, just under about 20 total attempts. I think we're in a game where we need Burke Bear-Ugel to have another good game. If we go back to Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary having to carry the weight on everything, it just becomes tough sledding. Raleigh Wooster in that one is actually 2 for 3 as well. Like I said, Burke with 15, he was 5 for 9. Sam Hoiberg was 0 for 2 in that one. And then you didn't get a whole lot of production off the bench, but you got just enough. Esijan with 5, Braxton Mia with 5, and Andrew Morgan with 2. Who's got to step up in this one? Is it Burke Bear-Ugel? We ask this question all the time, but it just can't be the Bryce and Juwan Gary show.
I think it's a combination of players. I think Connor has to be on tonight. Of course, of course, the big guy, he has to step up. We're going to need him. I was looking at team stats for Ohio State. I mean, I know yesterday I said we got, 2 or 3 guys that average over 10 points. They got 4 guys, that average over 10 or 12 points. So we're really, really close. Again, we played this team well. This has been a few games back for the big guy. So hopefully, he catches his breath and kind of, shows up a little bit or shows up way more than what we've seen in these previous games. But I think a combination of those two should solidify a win tonight.
Yeah, to me, it's really just going to be one of those bigs. Burke Bear Gel is just great if you get that offense with him. But I mean, we got to get more out of Andrew Morgan. We got to get more out of Braxton Mia, especially when you're running up against teams where you feel like you got that size advantage. It showed on the rebounding last time we played him. We need more of that in this game. It's going to be on the road. Maybe Nebraska can use that to their advantage because, just being honest, at home it hasn't been that good. It hasn't necessarily boosted them. You could argue it got them to overcome what was a 19-point deficit versus Minnesota, but they also started with the 19-point deficit at home. So just another opportunity between these two teams. I mean, this realistically could determine the final bid for Big Ten teams within March Madness. So you're going to get an Ohio State team that's loaded, ready to go, that understands they need this one the same way Nebraska understands they need it. But the problem is Ohio State coming off a good win versus USC, winning at 87-82, one of the better teams in the Big Ten. It was also a road win for Ohio State. 6.5, does that feel like a fair number? If you're unbiased, you're not an Ohio State fan, not a Nebraska fan, you just like college hoops.
I think that's pretty close, somewhere around there. Again, it just depends on what Nebraska team shows up.
Yep, and that's the problem. We never quite know which one it's going to be. And like I said, Ohio State's got such a unique resume this year that they got that opening season win versus Texas that's been carrying them a lot. And then I believe they had Kentucky as well. Yeah, and they also beat number 4 Kentucky. So despite, Ohio State being 16-13, Nebraska only 17-12, you look at this team, they just got really big wins on their schedule. So Ohio State is kind of in the same ballpark that Nebraska has been in. There's games where they'll show up and they look as good as the best teams in the country. And then there's other situations where, they show up and they look like one of the worst teams in the country. Like I said, their last 4 games, it was a loss to Michigan, a good opponent, a loss to Northwestern, an okay opponent, but they lost to Northwestern 70-49. They got blown out of the gym there, and that was also at their home floor. And then the UCLA on the road, they lost that one. And again, that USC kind of out of nowhere, they surprised everybody, went and get a quality win versus a good team on the road. Now they're going to have a chance versus Nebraska. All this to be said, though, I mean, just looking at this year, how vitally important is it that this team makes a March Madness bid? Or if they don't, how confident are you still in this program and Fred Hoiberg? Because we're going to start hearing some panic if we don't make it. But I'll fall to the point I did yesterday. I know it sounds crazy, but this is still a somewhat of a golden age for Nebraska basketball.
I wouldn't say necessarily a panic. He brought some players in, and they necessarily didn't turn out the way that or how they should have. Or they didn't show up consistently how things should have been. You got some decent guys in. I think it is important just to continue to kind of have that pull and that attraction for athletes, transfer portal athletes, or JUCO athletes coming in. And then second that, with, NIL pay and everything like that. So I don't think that'll be a problem. But it is important to get in and to play in that. This year, it's just been a little bit disappointing. They've lost some close games that they were in or should have won or just didn't handle or just didn't, show up right. And they could have easily been on the other side of things. So that right then and there is just, they've taken a small step back from last year. But then again, you lost a lot of pieces from last year. If Rink Mass was healthy and everything like that, I think that definitely swings the scale. And, maybe 5 of those losses are wins just from points or, shot creativity and ability for him or people around him. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, I know it wasn't too good of a year and it's not necessarily what we expected, but they also weren't getting blown out by teams or overly matched by teams. So I think that's kind of something you take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, the only game that you really point out that is just incredibly disappointing was that Purdue game. A little early into the year where, give them a little bit of defense. I do think Purdue is probably the hardest place to play in the Big Ten. You'll hear that from a lot of the coaches. And yes, it's the fans. It's also just the way that place is designed. That noise bounces off the ceiling like crazy to the point where you can barely hear yourself in there. But I am at a point where, this season it's gonna really be brutal. If you don't make it to a March Madness tournament, the more and more you can stack those back to back, the better chance you're gonna have recruiting players just showing evidence that you're a team that consistently makes it to postseason play. That isn't the NIT, that is March Madness. But at the same time, I do stick by. I actually think Fred Hoiberg's ironically overachieving just with the roster he has right now. I mean, this team is really good defensively at times, but offensively, there's a lot of struggle. Fred Hoiberg is kind of the offensive mind he is able to get this team to do enough more often than not so far this year. Just still be in the fact that they're in this way the shape of the roster is. I do think it's pretty impressive to be in bubble watch. And we got a little used to the long winning streak early in the year. We lost 7 straight, then we broke it. Felt like we're back on track, and it's been a little bit bumpy since. But there's 2 games left. There is still an absolute chance that, especially if you beat this one, you'll probably stiff arm Ohio State to grab that last Big Ten bid, which would feel really good. A little bit of revenge from the football season as well. Push those guys on the outside looking in, and then, of course, you still got another game versus Iowa that you really want to polish the slate. You beat Ohio State tonight on the road. That looks fantastic on your resume. And then you go home and you beat the Hawkeyes. And then you're not necessarily leaning on Big Ten tournament play to punch your ticket to the dance. Anything else to add on Husker Hoops? We are at a point in the season where I just don't know what team's going to be out there. We just got to roll the ball out and watch. Anything left to add? Might have lost the morning Pierson-El to the Blizzard. All right, with that being said, we'll go ahead and drop the call. And good morning, Pierson-El, if you can hear me, I'll go ahead and have you just call back in when you have a chance. And I'll go ahead and wrap up this last 10 minutes of this first segment here, because I was going to switch gears anyways and talk a little bit NFL. But maybe we do have good morning, Pierson-El already back. Good morning. I thought I lost you for a second. Are you back on air with us?
I'm back in.
All right, sounds good. I'm relieved. I was honestly, the weather being as bad as it is, I was like, man, I hope this guy didn't derail or slide down the road a little bit.
I'm good. I accidentally hit the mute button.
All right, fantastic. Well, I was going to ask, anything left to add on Husker Hoops?
Hopefully they pull out this win tonight. That the right team shows up.
Yep, and that's kind of what I said before I dropped you the first time. We're at a point, I don't know what team's going to show up. I hope it's the right one, the one that knows how to win ball games, the same one that beat Ohio State the first time around. Let's switch it over to the NFL, because on segments 2 and 3, we got plenty of quotes from Braden. We got plenty of quotes from Eckler. So I want to talk Husker football, but let's talk NFL first. Your guy, Devontae Adams, released by the Jets. Thoughts on that? And honestly, if you're Devontae Adams, that's probably a good thing. I don't think the Jets are going to be a contender next year. He's still a guy that I desperately want to see go on a team that has some real aspirations to go ahead and win a championship.
It's a part of the business. They're a fresh new start. Clean new slate. They've turned the page. With everything in that organization, from coaches to players and whatnot. So what do you expect? He still has a lot of left in the tank to play. I'm excited to see where he's going to be on the move at, and I think it's going to be somewhere where a lot of people aren't thinking of.
Yeah, and, that's exactly right. When you watch Devontae Adams, and that's been the most frustrating part for anybody who's kind of a fan of his game, is like you watch a guy who's still clearly one of the best wide receivers in the league. Now, where do you want to rank him? You can have that argument, but he's certainly up there with the cream of the crop. The guy is incredible, and he just has had really bad quarterbacks or just bad situations. Even with the Rodgers this year, it was so kind of late in the year. The Jets were already kind of flailing. It just didn't ever quite pan out the way you would hoped it to. Moving on here, we also got Saquon Barkley. He got paid. He has become the biggest contract any running backs ever received in the NFL. Saquon Barkley resetting that running back trajectory. 2-year contract extension worth $41.2 million. On that one from Ian Rappaport. Thoughts on that? He gets a 2-year extension, $41.2 million. And new money, not old money. That's that extra money he's getting on top.
Much well deserved. He showed up a big part of the season. How he is a madman and how they get things done and situated. You want to lock up your players and whatnot, and their eyes is how many more of Super Bowls or appearances we can get there. They're doing right by their players.
Yeah, if Power almost went out in the studio. Hopefully everyone can hear me. That's that wind acting for you. Talking about Saquon Barkley here, not off season. Like this year, heading into this next season, he is definitely resetting the market. So that's about $20.6 million average a year. That makes him the first 20 million plus running back in NFL history. $36 million of that money is guaranteed. $15 million of that is incentives. But, if he stays healthy, I think he'll hit those incentives just fine. Is there a more deserving running back than Saquon Barkley? I think the obvious one is Derrick Henry, but I don't know if we'll see Derrick Henry run into that kind of money.
From last year, no. I think it definitely is. He definitely stepped up in a big way, and he made the Giants pay. I mean, I know week in and week out they were just sick because it was all over SportsCenter. It's in their own division. You see him twice. So you want to talk about just fumble after fumble. And he made the whole league pay and put a lot of people on notice.
Yeah, and do you think with what Saquon Barkley's doing, and then obviously you got Scadaboo coming up into the NFL, I'm not sure where he'll land, and you got some really good running backs, Ashton Jeanty as well, coming out of the college game. Are we getting to a point where the NFL is going to start spending a little bit more money on contracts, especially for that running back, giving those guys longer deals, more money? Or is that just purely when you get a freak that is Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry?
I think when you get the freaks, that's not necessarily across the board. I think they would definitely, be a little bit more appreciative of the good backs or of the decent backs, but you're not going to come across your McCaffreys, your Alvin Kamaras, your Saquon Barkley like that. That's an elite group. You got about maybe 5 or 6 running backs that you can put, kind of in that circle, and then kind of there's everybody else.
Yeah, I guess when I say that, I don't mean all the running backs now are going to be getting at least $10 million a year more so in the fact that the best example I always have of this is Josh Jacobs for the Raiders, to just kind of give him to the Packers for, can't remember, but it wasn't hardly anything in my mind.
I think he signed like a 2-year deal. It was close to like 30 or 40 mil or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, with a lot of incentives or whatnot. I mean, he's going to be due for a payday himself if he follows back up, things with another good year.
Yeah, just think, what we're seeing with Saquon Barkley, what you see with Christian McCaffrey. Derrick Henry's a little bit different. He's just such a physical back, but guys like Saquon and guys like McCaffrey, they are so dynamic in what they can do that they just become game breakers. And I always felt like Josh Jacobs, because what you're seeing some of these other backs do in the NFL and how versatile they can be for you at times, Josh Jacobs to me is like one of those versatile backs that I thought the Raiders would kind of see the trend in the NFL of what these really elite running backs can do for you. But they didn't quite see it the same way. And as you said, they maybe saw payday coming down the road. They didn't want to deal with it. But I do think.
I mean, the Raiders were paying the wrong people. You paying Gruden. You paying Gruden $100 million that was still left on his contract. Yep. You paying Josh McDaniels the money that was still necessarily, on his contract and whatnot. And so, I mean, at some point in time, the money might be a little short to play the players, and you kind of got to let people walk. It was kind of the Khalil Mack situation 2.0, just not as bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little more NFL news here. This one, just kind of surprised to hear it. There is NFL news that Justin Fields is more likely to be the Steelers starter in that 2025 season. I didn't think Russell Wilson played bad. He's becoming an interesting quarterback where some people think he's still, one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and a lot of people think he's washed already. I think he might be somewhere in between. Where are you at on Russell Wilson? And not so much the fact that if Justin Fields takes that starting spot, what's your confidence level on Russell Wilson?
I mean, he's still a good quarterback. He's still an elite quarterback. He's very smart. He's very capable and everything like that. Again, it's the right situation of things and whatnot. I guess what the offensive coordinator was trying to run and trying to call necessarily wasn't matching. Secondly, you had people getting injured late in the season. You had your star receiver having issues, temperament issues on and off the field and whatnot. So, I mean, you had a lot of different distractions, and I think they kind of just tie that all in the rust. But, I mean, outside of, Najee, Fairmouth, and, Pickens, I mean, what really did, the Steelers kind of really had? You kind of knew what their game was. Coverages would roll to Pickens to kind of take him away. Najee wasn't necessarily a game breaker. So, I mean, people knew what you were going to do, and, they were stopping it.
Yeah, and it's I never thought I'd be on this side of the fence, but I actually think Russell Wilson gets like way more hate than he ever deserves. Outside of the Subway commercials and the Danger Witch, like you can, Mr. Unlimited, you can get him for that stuff. But like on the field, he's still, to me, like when I watch him, one of the better quarterbacks. Even when he took over for Justin Fields after, I think the Steelers started out, 4-2 with Justin Fields earlier in the year. Maybe they didn't even play that many. But Justin Fields looked good. He didn't look like an elite quarterback. He didn't look like a bad quarterback. He just looked like he belonged out there. But then when you saw Russell Wilson, you immediately saw some things that's like, okay, well, I know Justin Fields doesn't quite have that touch pass. Or I know at times I'll see Justin Fields and he'll just want to immediately scramble as opposed to just reset the pocket and find that wide receiver. So, with Justin Fields, with Chicago Bears, it was always hard for me to evaluate him. On the Steelers, I just don't know if that kind of offense even really fits his style. I thought maybe it would. He's the guy who he's just got to find an offense that really caters to what he wants to do, the same way Baltimore did for Lamar Jackson. Not saying Justin Fields is the next Lamar Jackson, but he hasn't necessarily had an offense that heavily catered to his best skill set, which is his legs. It's the same thing that, the Ravens discovered, and you saw Lamar run for thousands of yards in a season. Then people saying he can't throw. He refined that game, and now he is, what should have been the MVP of last season, but he does got at least an MVP under his belt. But that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. We're going to talk a lot of Husker football to close out this hour of the Don't Punt Hour. So don't go anywhere. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. We'll talk to you on the other side right here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through March 4th is $1 off crisscross pretzels, buy one, get one free on hot dogs, and $2 off on Piedmontese brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, and at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of rain. It will be windy. See an afternoon high around 58. Tonight, a chance of rain and snow to be windy with blizzard conditions possible, low around 25. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It will be windy with blowing snow, a high around 39. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is it time to replace your home comfort system? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing for a free estimate. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El. We might have just the night of technical difficulties as this wind just becomes a nightmare to deal with. So just for the fun of it, let's do a roll call here. Let me know if you're out there and you can actually listen to us and if the signal's even reaching you guys out there. And if you really want to, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961, if you got Allo cable, those are all up and working for you guys. So if you can't get it on the brick and mortar, I definitely recommend check out the streams. But yeah, absolutely. We can do a roll call here. I'm just curious if people are even getting the signal out there on the brick and mortar. So 402-464-5685 as always. All right, good morning, Pierson-El. Let's switch it up. Let's talk some Husker football. We did get some quotes from the media today, and I'll let you get the choice. Do you want to hear from Eckler or Braden first?
Heckler.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I lost you a little bit there. What was that? Eckler?
Special teams coach.
Yeah, we can do Mike Eckler first here, and we got a plethora of quotes. And shout out Mr. Blitzkrieg. He's out there on YouTube, so we do got some people out there able to hear us because I just don't know what the brick and mortar is going to look like through the course of the night. And we will have the Husker Hoops post-game show tonight if the power, everything's still working great, and we can connect to you guys. So as soon as that Ohio State game gets over, should have combination me, Austin Norman, see if Strickland's going to be available. I highly doubt he's going to make the drive from Omaha, but maybe he'll have the availability to stream in. So let's go ahead and hear from some of the quotes about Mike Eckler. And let's just start with the fun one. The one that everybody kind of knows about him already, his coaching, personality, and energy. Here is Mike Eckler's thoughts on that.
I'm a pretty reserved guy, as you know. And I still got to finish the I-80 marathon too. But no, I mean, I think each year, honestly, I think I've gotten more energy. And that's just who I am. You got to coach to your personality, right? And I love what I do. And I love I love the game day. I love the competition. I love that's why you coach, to compete. And I just enjoy it. So, that's just kind of my personality.
So just to add to that, more to his personality on, just kind of putting out the idea he coaches because he loves football. Here's him on letting the pads talk.
I mean, like I said, I'm a blue collar guy. I'm not going to say we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to put our pads on. We'll talk with our damn pads. And, so saying this is what we're doing, it's a process. And at the end of the year, we're going to look up and we're not going to look up till then.
So there you go. Just a couple of quotes. We'll play some more throughout the show, but I just thought that was kind of amusing. You're hearing right away. I mean, that's the guy we kind of knew, or we thought we were bringing into this, but for him to come out there and shout out with the blue collar guy, we talk with our pads. I mean, that's going to be music to most Nebraska fans. Just thoughts on those two audio quotes, getting a little bit to know about the personality of Mike Ekeler.
The guy is a gamer.
Yes, he is.
He is a gamer. One thing's for sure. He's gonna have guys ready to play. He's from the show me state. He's not going to sweet talk you. He's not going to beat around the bush. He's going to get the best out of you. He's going to make sure you know what you're doing and whatnot, and his balls to the wall. And that's what you want from a special team coordinator. And him being coaching linebackers and whatnot. He's bringing the juice. I'm just excited to see how contagious his energy is on that unit.
Yeah, and that's it's exactly what we thought we were getting. And it was the room and the special teams that just needed some sort of cultural fire lit underneath it. Because we talk about it all the time. It's like multiple new head coaches, multiple special team coordinators, same result. You fix this thing, and all of a sudden it's a missed snap on the next game. You fix the snap hold, all of a sudden we're shanking PATs again, and it's the kicker's fault this time. You got all that fixed. The kicking game's good. Now all of a sudden you just gave up a 70-yard punt return run. So it was just constantly like whatever it was never cohesive. And shout out TMZ, Blitzkrieg, and like I said already, Mississippi Mud Dog. Sounds like we are loud and clear on the brick and mortar. Just be aware if it does spot out for a little bit. I'd imagine most of the time it's going to be temporary, just kind of depending on the weather. But great that you guys can still hear us on the brick and mortar as well as all those streams. Hear a little bit more from Mike Ekeler. Here's him just kind of evaluating talent from last year, in particular those starting spots.
It's truly a day-to-day. Just they're putting it on film. And I've got to get a feel for them, get a feel for their skill set, and like I told these guys from day one, said, fellas, right now I'm coming in new. You guys all have a clean slate, a new beginning. But I promise you this, the standard here is to be the best. And that's what the standard is. So we got to giddy up and go, or we're going to find people to bring in that are going to hit that standard. And that's just RLS, real life shizay.
RLS, you heard it from the man himself. Right, Pierson, I'll ask you, you've been on special teams where the guys were clearly locked in. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that so much success. You said it yourself. You had plenty of highlight runs, but those highlight runs don't happen unless it's a cohesive unit and you got guys out there in front blocking for you. To you, what was it that made special teams a real important valued thing at the University of Nebraska while you were playing, for that culture to really sit and matter?
A piece of it is one that when everybody was out there, it was all fun. So, it was guys that enjoyed and actually, wanted to go out there, whether if it was me returning, they know, if they give me a chance, it could be a big return. Mm-hmm. Or, if Bo wanted to go after it, he would send the house and they would either get a block or we still might get a big return. So guys were excited and juiced about going out there and, being a part of changing the game or giving a spark. So, I think that's the piece that's most important, and I think he's a coach that's going to identify stuff, see stuff. Clearly, he's not afraid to talk about what needs to happen and whatnot, and he's going to be straightforward and honest with guys. So I think that, not to say that the guy in there wasn't doing that or anything like that, but it's different when you got a new coach coming in there and there's no bias or there's no stigmas or there's nobody saying, oh, no, this guy. Like, no, he's going to evaluate everything and let the chips fall where they may be.
Absolutely. And here's more of him. And this one, I just like, what makes his special teams better than the rest? Here's Mike Eckler on that.
Truly, it's a culture. It's a culture, and we are saying it's ABT, all about technique, for ABM, all about money. Everything we do on special teams, it's technique. And our guys are starting to understand already that it makes them a complete football player. It's all transferable skills. We're doing kickoff drills, and okay, you're a receiver. You're stemming a DB. You're stepping on his toes. You look him in the eyes. You run a post cut, and your eyes stun him. All right, you're playing receiver. Okay, I made all the guys stand up. All the offensive guys stand up in the meeting room the other day. I said, fellas, guess what? Congratulations. You guys now are playing defense. We're going kickoff cover. And so it's all these different skills. How does that help a receiver understanding how to set up a block and defeat a block? Well, he's out blocking on the perimeter, and he might like to understand leverage. He might like to understand eye control. He might like to understand all the techniques that he's got to combat to go against that. Well, does he want to play on Sunday? Showed a clip yesterday. Kickoff cover with the Cleveland Browns. They got a running back out there. They got a wide receiver out there. They got 2 outside linebackers out there. They got a D lineman out there. So, when they stand up and they go to the combine, they're standing up there by themselves. And all the scouts, GMs, head coaches in the NFL are there. All they got is their technique. All they have is their knowledge and their training. I'm not going to be there. Coach Rule's not going to be there. So if you say you want to, if you say you want to be a pro, be a damn pro. Live it. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Just his quotes from that. That was a hell of a first day for him on a lot of these quotes. I want to hear your thoughts on this, because you mentioned this a lot, especially for guys who do want to play on Sundays, and why that special teams can be an important aspect of your game.
It could keep you on an NFL team or not, and you rather learn it and have some type of experience before you get to the NFL or, on the NFL team, because you only get a couple goals at it. And if they don't like you, you might be on the chopping block because, value and versatility. So the fact that he's instilling that and letting them know, that could be the reason why, a team sticks around and everything like that. I mean, speaking from experience, returning punts, and it was other things that, got added to it and whatnot. So versatility is key. And the fact that, he's not just letting offensive guys just go out there and say, no, I'm only playing offense and whatnot, because the day is coming to where NFL team is, not today. You aren't anymore. So he's being realistic with them. He's not setting them up for failure. And that's what you want, as a player and being, a part of a college, not let's say organization, being a part of a team and everything like that, to where, you can really see your coach has your best interest, and, he sees things from the different side of the ball and everything like that. And, he could get you paid, a change like that can, when you start getting into those later rounds or whatnot, it's certain things that organizations look for, okay, well, can the kid play special teams? Can he do, X, Y, and Z? You might get drafted or picked up because of those tangibles that you have or whatnot. So it's good that he's exposing them to it early. And I'm pretty sure that they know that. They've heard certain things and everything like that. This coach is a coach that's not going to take no for an answer or not going to care. He's going to put you out there and expect you to do a job. And it's going to be exciting to see, what comes of it.
Yeah, this is the most, realistically most excited I've been about the special teams unit since arguably like the Bo Pelini era. It's been that rough for so long. It's not that I've been, maybe excited's not the right word, but not worried. I'm not nearly as worried about the special teams heading into this year than I have been for every single year ever since, like I said, that Bo Pelini era. So, we'll have to wait and see. Hindsight's always 20/20, but everything Mike Eckler is saying, and again, a lot of it's coach speak in the offseason. You typically run off in the offseason with a bunch of positive emotions about how good your team's going to be next year. We'll really find out on Saturdays when we start playing those games. But so far, just in some of the quotes we heard, it's exactly the guy I thought we were bringing in to this university for this Husker football program, and him just backing it up within these press conferences has been interesting. And there's plenty more. Early break, we'll play it, I'm sure, nonstop tomorrow as well. We got plenty of quotes. So with that being said, I do want to hear from Bratton as well. So we'll go ahead and already throw it to break, and then we can hear from Terry Bratton, the new defensive line coach. Came down from the Kansas City Chiefs after about 8 years, had a lot of success up there, and then was officially the Husker coach while also coaching for the Kansas City Chiefs in that Super Bowl game. So we'll get some quotes from him next. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. Good morning, Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. Harrison Arndt at the Ticket Studio. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
MWA Pro Wrestling returns to Lincoln Friday night, March 7th at the First Avenue Social Hall. And in Beatrice at the Beatrice Auditorium on Saturday night, March 8th at 7 p.m. Don't miss 2 huge shows. Visit Facebook.com/MWA Pro Wrestling for more information. Tickets are on sale for both events. Friday night, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. First Avenue Social Hall in Lincoln. Saturday night, March 8th at the Beatrice Auditorium, 7 p.m. Brought to you by 10 Pins Fun Center, Felipe Electric, and Stone Hollow Brewing Company.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com, because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Allo Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit allofiber.com to switch today.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through March 4th is $1 off crisscross pretzels, buy one, get one free on hot dogs, and $2 off on Piedmontese brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, and at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour. The former Husker himself, DeMornay Pierson-El. You guys can always join in. Started him text line as well as via these streams. We did have from Mississippi Mud Dog again talking about Mike Eckler putting guys out on special teams, kind of saying how that sometimes can be a ticket, not only to get you to the league, but sometimes keep you in the league. Mud Dog says Amir Abdul is a great example how playing special teams can certainly keep you in the league. And then also we got a question here for yourself coming from Blitzkrieg here. We got DeMornay. He wants to know what compares to punt returning in front of 90,000 and taking it back to the house. Does anything?
What was the question? It got out a little bit.
Does anything compare to bringing one to the house in front of 90,000 fans?
No, it doesn't. It's different. The game slows down, and then as with each step, the crowd erupts. So it's a different adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I mean, what was that first one like in college? You remember the feeling in particular?
It was actually an away game. I think the first one was Fresno State. If I'm not mistaken, it was an away game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So the crazy part is I haven't gotten one at home, and that's the only thing that I'm pissed about. I've had 3 of them that I should have taken, and I didn't score not one of them. But
you did one. One at the Hawkeyes field. I mean, that's almost got to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, but that was Bo's last game. The next morning he was fired. So I mean, it was. Kenny had the touchdown in overtime that sealed the deal. That game we came out terrible and just fought our way back. I think we were down like 21 points.
Yep.
So just to be a part of that one, and for Bo to kind of go out like that, of course that that was just something different.
Man, that's crazy. You never got one at home.
Never. Nope. Against Rutgers, I got stopped at the 3-yard line. I know I sucked.
Oh, that's right. It was right. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. I was like, I could have sworn you brought one all the way back, but you're right. You got tripped up at the 3.
When Oregon came, I got caught at like the 15. I suck again. I think I had one against Purdue. Again, got caught at like the 15 or something like that. Suck again. It just for whatever reason, like it just didn't happen. I'm pissed. That's the one thing I'm pissed about. That I didn't do at home.
Hey, sometimes it's tough. Every now and then you get a punter out there who's built like Brian Bring the Boom Bushini, and that last guy to beat sometimes is a little better than you might anticipate. So I can't remember exactly who the guys got.
No, it was more so me not just turning things on. It was just kind of letting the blocks kind of set up and me just like slowing down and getting caught. Like it wasn't nothing that if I'd have just ran, like I'd have been fine. And that's the part that I'm pissed off about.
Well, I don't think too many fans have a whole lot of regret watching your career, so you can hold on to those ones yourself. Most of us will remember as one of the best punt returners to do it here at the University of Nebraska. Let's hear a little bit from Brad in here just before we get out of here. And like I said, these are probably going to play a lot tomorrow. So if you do want to hear, be sure to stick around for tomorrow's shows as well. So Terry Braden, I want to play this one first as soon as I can find it, mainly just on why Coach Rule stood out. So here's Braden on this, why Coach Rule stood out. Remember, 8 years at the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think he ever coached college before. I think it was kind of one of those unique situations from high school to the NFL on some like low-level assistant, just slowly worked his way up. But here's Braden on that.
Well, one, for him to wait for me, we didn't get it. We got a bus to get a three-peat. That didn't happen, but he was willing to wait for me. He'd been in the NFL with the New York Giants, and during the interview, he was willing to wait. Coach Reed was a big fan of him, and they knew each other very well, and that was a big thing for me and my family. My family is the number one part of my life and my component. So for him to wait for my family, my kids, and everything after the Super Bowl run, I was blessed for the opportunity, so I felt like it was a right fit for me at the time.
So you kind of have it. He just says, essentially just giving the respectful rule for being patient and letting Braden work with the kids to the Chiefs while they're on their run. We're just kind of giving that respect to the family. What is the thing you're most excited about from Braden while I get this next quote ready?
The shoes he has to fill. We understand, what the coach before was. He's bringing a different caliber of thinking. He's been around, championships. He knows what it takes, the intensity, the detail, the small things. I'm excited for what he will show and bring out of the guys that is there. Because, again, it's different. It's not, coaches can speak it all. You got to play like a champ. This coach actually lived it, for quite a while. So if he's saying certain things and everything like that, it's for an exact reason. So the knowledge and the expertise that he will bring to the table, and what he will bring out of the athletes that are there is what I'm excited about most.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And here's the final thing as we got to get out of here before we wrap this show up. And this is just a classic, this is a football guy quote. This is exactly what you'd want your defensive line coach talking like. So here's Braden kind of talking about how he teaches football.
Nah, Luke, football is football. I've been coached little league to high school to NFL, and I'm in college. So we're going to teach the same principles. Get in the stance, get off, hand placement, strike block. So fundamentals is fundamentals. We can't get bored with them.
There you go. It's as simple as that, but it's like one of those quotes, where it's true. You can get lost in all the nuances of it, but you can pick any sport, look at the greats in those sports. What is one thing they master? It's the same fundamentals that was the very first thing they learned when picking up the sport. Final thoughts on just the few quotes that we heard on Brad, and in particular that one.
You've gotten two guys that are bringing energy and that are going to get the best out of their guys in their room. I know we lost some people on the side, but I'm definitely excited to see these two guys step in. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about it before. The coaching staff for Nebraska, you got to think, we got a new OC, Satterfield's still on staff. We got a new special teams coordinator, Ed Foley, still on staff. A lot of these guys are still here. This coaching staff's big. It's got a lot of depth. It's got a lot of talent. You also bring in Phil Snow. So Matt Rule's in a perfect spot to play that quote-unquote CEO role. But as always, we'll have to find out what it really looks like on Saturdays if everything's in sync the way it should be. Appreciate you guys listening. We're going to go ahead and set up a replay for the next segment. As you can imagine, the Husker Bowlers, weather concerning, are not going to make it in tonight, so no worries. We'll set up a replay for you guys. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate the time as always. We'll do it again tomorrow.